Welcome to OFFS, the show where we have a girlfriend chat about culture, fashion, food, health, relationships, and so much more. We've been friends for 25 years and it shows. Together, we love to laugh, share stories, and talk all things popular culture. We are healthcare practitioners and we understand that community is what heals us, and we welcome you to ours. I'm Fiona.
And I'm Vanda.
And this is the OFFS podcast. All right, welcome to the Oh For Fuck's Sakes podcast, episode number 6. I'm Fiona.
I am Vanda.
Hello, gorgeous. How are you?
Hi, gorgeous. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. It's ridiculously cold here again in Calgary today.
Oh,
it was
really?
minus 34 with the wind chill this morning.
What? Oh my God. Oh,
I know.
It literally just make me like die a little bit inside. Like what? Minus 34?
Minus 34 with the wind chill. I think the ambient was about minus 22 or so the wind was up quite a bit, but super icy driving in this morning. And as I said to you, we're starting a little bit late because there was a big car accident on the Deerfoot coming in. But you know, tomorrow it's going to be +6. So welcome to Calgary.
Oh,
Meanwhile,
Southern Alberta.
Totally. We've all got headaches or bum hips or our knees hurt.
The shift of temperature, like, I mean, it's so funny. When I first started living in Dubai, people would come in the fall and spring, and they'd be like, "Oh, the weather change," and I'd be like, what are you talking about?" Like the weather change. And like there's like a week on each in the spring and the fall. We're here where literally the weather does, like, the winds shift a little bit and it might get like 3 degrees colder.
Wow.
Or hotter, whichever way we're going, right?
Yeah.
Like 3 degrees, maybe. It goes from like 36 to 33. And I'm like, what? So after living here now for like 14 years, I'm like, oh yeah, the weather change. But then when I'm I'm like, you want to talk about weather changes, people? Go live in Southern Alberta. It's insane.
It is.
Oh
Do you
my
remember
God.
in school they taught us? I can't even remember which teacher it was, but the discussion was that people feeling the effects of the weather in their body doesn't exist.
And that's absolute bullshit.
Like,
I'm calling it right now.
For sure. And now we've got research
100%.
that shows that in fact it does. We are essentially a barometer.
Yeah.
And people will notice that pressure change in our joints, and especially if we've got old injured joints, and some people feel it as headaches. But like my sort of rote answer around that is you just have to be a chiropractor in Calgary or Southern Alberta for about 2 minutes to realize that the weather very much affects human beings.
100%. And especially when the Chinooks come in, it's just like, oh, am I going to see 8 migraine patients in a row?
Of
like,
course you
is
are.
that what we're doing?
I see that arch in the sky and I'm like, oh God, I hope I've got space on my schedule
migraine
today
day.
for the people that need it today.
Jeez.
I know. It's crazy. Even I had an associate
Stay
once
warm.
who was from Australia, and she did her training in Australia. And she, if I recall correctly, I was the first clinical job she had, my clinic. She was doing research here at the university. And she said to me, she said, you know, I don't believe that it's possible that we can feel the weather changes. And I was just you wait.
Have you only been in the country for a week?
Like, yes.
On a sunny week.
And she was also in her 20s and healthy. So, you know, she's not feeling much at that point. It's as, you know, you get older and all of that. But
can you call her now and be like, how about that weather?
Yeah. Now she lives in Switzerland. So
well, yeah.
She's doing okay.
So, yeah.
It gets cold there though, too.
It does get cold, but not like, if for anybody's listening that doesn't live in Southern Alberta, we get extreme weather changes. I think one of the days the most it changed was like 100 degrees Fahrenheit in 24 hours. And I think it was like 1986, like near Lethbridge or Pincher Creek or something. It went from minus 30 to 70.
Jeez.
Fahrenheit. So that's almost minus 30 Canadian, or Canadian, minus 30 Celsius to like 24, 25 degrees positive. And it happened in 24 hours. It just like
Yeah,
swell.
and you say
No
that, and I
kids.
can hear you telling people that
That
that's
it's like
really
that.
unusual. But then
Yeah.
because I live here, I know that
Yeah.
that's not unusual at all.
You're like, that was Thursday.
That was last week. Essentially, well, Aaron and I are watching True Detective right now on
Oh, the new one?
HBO. Yes, with Jodie Foster. Have you seen it?
I haven't seen it. I've seen the trailers, but it looks good. Tell me
OMG,
about it.
you need to watch. So no
Yeah, is that
spoilers.
good?
So if you're listening, there'll
Okay.
be no
Okay.
spoilers, but it does take place in Alaska. So
Oh, okay.
I don't believe that's a spoiler because I think it's part of the trailers they talk
That's
about
yeah.
that, right?
I knew it was
But
cold.
like what is I keep saying to Aaron as I'm watching it, it's fully in the dark because there's no change in they're far enough north that they don't have the sunrise or sunset.
Oh, okay. So they're doing it like in December and yeah,
Yes, December
like
17th, I
perpetual
think. Yes.
perpetual night or whatever they call it.
Yep. Yep. And
Yeah,
I don't know how long does it last, do you know?
like 3 months
Jeez.
at least 3 months. I know in Norway, like what is it? Swelv. I'm totally gonna butcher this. Swelvbark or the place like north, like Arctic Circle, North Norway.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I know like it gets dark in like November and then they don't see the sun again until like maybe February. They
Wow.
call it the long night, is what they call it. It's a really long night.
So could they just throw a stone to Alaska from there? Like I figure if it just goes over the top, it could probably is it still
Probably.
pretty far? Okay, that was a
Like,
dumb thing to say. Anyways,
okay, Sarah Palin, you can see Alaska. You can see Russia from.
that is the most insulting thing anyone has ever said to me.
I love you. I take it back.
I
I'm
know you
sorry.
do. I know. Okay, so here's the thing. I know so when it gets to be November, December, and early January around these parts, we have the sun rises at about 7:30, 8 o'clock, even after 8 a.m. And then it starts setting somewhere around 3:30, 4 o'clock.
Mm.
And I know I really struggle like staying positive. So is that an element of seasonal defective or seasonal defective? Yeah, definitely that.
You're
Seasonal
definitely
affective disorder.
defective. Effective in the seasons.
But I think that must be an aspect of it. And I know
Oh,
like
for
when the
sure.
sun comes out, I feel like a flower opening. I'm just like, I need to just suck you all in.
Can feel the seasonal
Yes.
affective disorder leaving your body. It
Lifting.
was actually really good. Yeah.
It's quite an amazing feeling. I'm sure you felt it too.
Yeah. I mean, here we only go from like 14 hours to 10 hours, I think it is. So it's not that big of a swing. It's not like a home. But yeah, it's still definitely there though.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I have I have a patient who has used successfully a microdose of magic mushrooms for seasonal affective disorder, interestingly enough.
That's fun.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he thinks so. He's always having a good time. He's one I can crack all the jokes with. Okay.
Yeah.
The SAG Awards were on this weekend on Netflix. Interesting. It
Oh,
was
were they?
yeah, it was Saturday night
Oh.
live on Netflix.
Oh, I'm glad they got that
Yeah.
figured out because I remember they tried to go live with Love is Blind and it was a disaster. Like season
Oh,
5 last. Yeah, it just didn't happen. They were like, nope. So they recorded it.
pulling the plug.
Like we're
Okay.
all like waiting and waiting, and then they're like, technical 15 more minutes, 10 more minutes, and then it just didn't happen. So I'm glad they figured out the liveness of it. That's good.
Yeah, yeah, they did. And
Yeah.
it was really I enjoyed it actually. It was kind of quite accidental that I even knew it was on. Like I think I probably looked at the news feed like I don't know, 20 minutes before it started and I was like,
Oh
"Oh,
wow.
well, Aaron's downstairs cooking dinner. I'll just go and flip it on." So we happened to watch it.
Yeah.
And the first thing I have to say is uh Idris Elba, I love him. He's
Mm.
awesome and he's like so nice to look at. And
Yes, he
he
is.
starts off by saying like we're on streaming so we can cuss. So basically
Oh.
you can say anything that you would normally say in front of Oprah Winfrey. And then they cut to a shot of Oprah and she's like, "What? Me?" You hear Idris go, "Fuck, that's Oprah." So good.
I
And I'm
never
like,
thought of that, but I guess yeah, because they don't have the whatever
yeah.
regulations that they have. Yeah.
Yeah, and I
What
happened to
expensive.
be, I was in the kitchen and I saw sort of out of my periph Pedro Pascal come on, and I was like, because they had a guy, I can't remember his name, but he's the silver haired guy that's in Queer Eye. Do you know
Oh,
his name?
Tan
I wouldn't
or
know,
the
to
other
be
guy?
honest. I wouldn't know, but he
Yeah,
was dressed fabulous, and he was introducing all of the celebrities, or not all of
with the
them, but the
hair.
ones who could. Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, Tan. Yeah.
And yeah, and he had these like gorgeous pants. Anyways, whatever, it doesn't matter. But I saw him. We do talk about fashion here, so I can talk
It's
about
true.
it.
It's in
Yeah.
her bio.
Uh, therefore, we must please tell me swearing, sassy and swear.
I think they know that by our title,
Oh
but
yeah, right. Yeah, yeah.
and the explicit like thing
Mm.
warning, but it's okay.
As I said to you, I think I need one of those explicit stickers on my back.
The
Um,
one on your butt. Parental advisory,
yeah.
explicit content.
Fair warning, Gen X are approaching.
Yeah, right. Doesn't give up.
Earmuffs for the kids.
Earmuffs.
Anyways, it was
What
great.
show was that? Sorry, wait. Sorry,
Oh,
back up. What movie was that? Was it with Vince? I'm sure it's with Vince
wasn't
Vaughn.
wasn't that Jerry Maguire?
Maybe it was Jerry Maguire. Vince Vaughn.
Ooh, that's
But
an
it
old
was just
one.
like earmuffs. Like, I don't
It
remember.
was Jerry Maguire. Because remember the kid
Yeah,
was
it's
really
possible.
smart and he was like
Yeah.
listening to everything.
Did you
Eh,
know dogs and bees can smell fear?
yes, yes. Did
Yeah.
you know the human head weighs 8 pounds?
It weighs 8 pounds.
I'm pretty sure mine weighs more than that.
You had me at hello, Fiona. You had me at hello.
You
Yeah, my
complete
head
me.
weighs more than you.
God, if you're not watching the video version of this,
You're
please do
missing out.
yourself a favor and find us on YouTube, where you can watch us and our ridiculous antics as we enjoy each other's company.
Yeah.
Anyways, if you can watch the replay, watch it, because I thought it was really good. But once again, our favorite show was shut out of the awards, which of course was Ted Lasso.
Oh, really?
People are loving The Bear. Have you watched The Bear?
I have tried to watch The Bear 3 separate times. The first episode, have yet to get through it.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I know there's Calvin Klein ad about the guy. What's his name? The
With
guy
the
that
three
stars in it.
names,
The three names.
White,
That's
Jeremy,
like
Jeremy White, Jeremy Allen
Jeremy,
White. Is it Jeremy
Jeremy Allen
Allen
White.
White?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's it, or close to it. Calvin Klein. He's super ripped. I got to give it up to that. Like the guy obviously spends some time doing some sit-ups and in the gym, but I don't find him. He looks like Gene Wilder.
He does kind of, yeah. Like I thought maybe
Yeah,
Gene Wilder's like grandson or something.
I don't know. He just doesn't do it for me.
Oh my God,
Oh
here
no.
comes Dr.
Oh, he's
Corey.
coming in.
He is indeed. Hopefully the staff
Oh,
tells him not
wait.
to come in.
Wait, yeah, he seemed to pause. He got a warning. Do you think he
Yeah,
got a
he
warning?
did.
Oh,
Yeah, just for everybody watching, that's my next door neighbor who may not have gotten the memo that I'm recording today.
he's like, keep it down in there.
But that's why I was telling the
Yeah.
staff, because they'll like be like, no, don't open the door. I did have one of the staff open the door once when I was recording on Facebook, and it was a couple years ago now. So since then, they're all very careful about if that door is closed, they don't come in. Anyways,
Fair. Do you have a
so I have
towel
tried to watch it,
or a
but
sock?
I should
Sorry.
just, one day I put a note out there, and our
Yeah.
office manager just walked in anyways. And I was like, okay, well, I'm sure glad I went. This was not the current office manager. So, and she was like, oh God, I'm sorry. I'm like, dude, did you not see the note?
Note.
And I think at that time I was actually recording a keynote speech that I was giving by recording.
Oh,
So I had to start all over again
God, that's
for weeks. Anyways, there's a reason why I put a note on the door, people. Anyways, okay. So my youngest niece loves The Bear, and she
What's the
tried to get us.
fascination? They're like cooking in Chicago. I don't.
They're
I don't
yelling.
get it.
There's so much yelling.
Yeah.
Like it dysregulates my nervous system. Yeah, Aaron walked away after the first 5 minutes. He's like, I can't do this. And
I honestly, I tried because they keep saying how good it
same.
is, and I'm like, I don't see it.
I can't get past it. Yeah. The other one they like is the beef, Ali Wong. which we haven't
Love
seen
Ali
that.
Wong, but I haven't seen that.
No, we haven't seen that either. I think we might have better success watching that one than The Bear. Much as I'd love to watch The Bear, I just can't. And I've heard Succession, which won a bunch of awards, also is a little difficult to get through. Have
Yeah,
you
I
watched it?
think I once again stopped halfway through the first season. I was just like, it's really not my
Dude,
thing. But that's why Pedro Pascal, when he accepted his award, I heard he was drunk because he thought Kieran Culkin was gonna win. So he was not prepared apparently to take home the award. Yeah.
that's hilarious. I know I was in the kitchen and we were making dinner and I sort of caught that and my thought went, I think he's drunk. Now I realize that he actually said that,
Yeah,
I do
actually, yeah.
believe. Yeah.
He was like,
But
I was slightly intoxicated.
you get that feeling off of people. Anyways, speaking of Netflix, have you watched the making of We Are the World documentary?
I have.
Ooh, let's talk about
So
that.
good.
Right?
Yes. Yeah, so good.
Now, it was called The Greatest Night. Isn't it? Is the documentary
The
itself called
greatest.
We Are the World or The Greatest Night
I
in
think
Pop
it's
Music
I
or
think it's the
something?
greatest night in pop music, or yeah, the greatest, yeah, something the greatest night in pop.
So, do you
Yeah.
think that what Sheila E. alleges was that they were using her to get Prince in the room? Do you think
I
that was
kind of
necessarily true?
I don't know. Maybe. I mean, Prince was such an enigma, and there's also that whole rivalry going on between the two of them, and I
Like
mean, it's possible that they were trying to like,
who was the
you know,
rivalry between?
him and Michael Jackson.
Oh,
Now, whether they actually had a rivalry or not, I don't know. I was young. I don't know. My sources didn't tell me at the time. But even I guess that because they recorded it after the Grammys, right? And apparently that night Prince won all the awards, not Michael.
Hmm.
Yeah, even though Michael had Thriller.
I mean,
Yeah.
okay. First
Or
of
maybe
all,
it might have been the second year the Thriller was, I don't know, for the, because it was
I
like
am
2 years.
just as much of a Michael fan as I am a Prince fan.
Right.
Like, there's room for both of them in the world.
100%. Yeah. And I think it was just, they were obviously the two most unbelievable pop stars at that moment. And they just kind of ruled the world
Yeah,
essentially for years. Yeah.
yeah.
So
Well,
I just found it so interesting.
yeah, I did too. And I was listening to what Sheila said, and I was like, do you think maybe a bigger draw for Prince would be the fact that most of the most important people in the rock music or the music industry were in that room, and that would be a
Yeah.
draw for him? But I don't know. Maybe that wasn't his personality type.
Maybe. And maybe he was like what I did bleh. You know what they said about Bob Dylan
Yeah,
when he was recording, right?
yeah,
That
yeah.
he didn't want to do it. And then like Stevie Wonder came and sang it in like a Bob Dylan voice, like "We are the world" or whatever. Like
He was
like
sitting
a
at his
Bob Dylan
keyboard.
voice.
That
Yeah,
was so
exactly.
interesting.
So interesting. So I wonder if maybe Prince it would be a little bit more like Bob Dylan and he just didn't actually want to record in front of anybody. Like maybe
Yeah,
he's
maybe,
a very
maybe.
private, like it was obviously very private, but like I don't know, maybe that was his thing. He's like, I'm not going to stand in a room with 50 of my most famous peers in the world and sing.
Yeah. And then yet look at how like Huey Lewis stepped up to that. Like that's actually
Yeah.
my favorite segment of the song
Yeah.
is him and Cyndi Lauper and Kim Carnes.
Yeah.
The
And they were
three
doing
of them
their,
together, so
they just
good.
like came up with a harmony on the spot.
Yeah.
So impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even just watching Huey like
Not
explain
me.
it, you're
Yeah.
like, he was like, I was scared shitless. I know, so good though, wasn't it?
But then yeah, like Bruce Springsteen and stuff, they were talking about how like, they're just kind of at the back and apparently like I heard later on that like apparently they had sandwiches delivered. So it was really hard to get everybody back from A, stopping drinking and two, eating sandwiches to even just try to record. Because it was like 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. We're like, we're hungry, we're tired.
Oh
We
my
want to eat
God.
and go home.
After you've been at
Yeah.
the Grammys, right?
Yeah. Can you imagine?
No, I can't. And I kept saying that. We were saying that as we were watching it, like how and they're trying to decide if they're going to order from Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. And, like and then Al Jarreau had too much wine. And
So drunk.
Lionel's trying to tell the story.
I don't remember his part in it at all. So I think they might have cut it. Did they cut it?
Oh, I don't know.
Outro, because I don't remember that line.
Well, and of course, there were some people in that crowd, like Aaron and I are looking at them going, who the hell's that guy? You
So
know?
Waylon Jennings like
He-
walked out.
yeah.
It's like, I can't do this. I'm out.
What was it? Stevie tried to get him to sing in Swahili. It's like,
Like, I'm not swinging Swahili. I'm out. And then later on, it comes out. They're like, they don't even speak Swahili. Like,
well, and like at the
different
beginning,
country, different language.
no, because this was a fundraiser for Ethiopia, was it not?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. At the beginning where Lionel and Michael were getting together and like they kept calling Stevie Wonder and Stevie wouldn't call them back. And I was like, are you serious? It's Michael friggin' Jackson and Lionel Richie.
But I guess you are Stevie Wonder too. And then the other thing is, maybe
Aaron
Stevie
said-
wasn't answering the phone. You
Aaron
know what
said-
I mean? They're saying like,
Aaron's like, he couldn't see them calling.
there was no caller ID.
was
Much less if they had
That's what I
caller ID.
said.
So that's what I mean. Maybe his assistant was just like, some idiots calling again saying they're Michael Jackson, and just like hanging up the phone.
Sure,
like-
it's Michael Jackson.
Sure, Michael. Yeah, okay.
Well, and Michael, didn't Lionel say that Michael called him Lionel?
Yeah, or
Lionel. Yeah. When he told the thing about the snake, and he was like,
Oh my
"I'm
God,
out of
I
here."
would have been out.
I remember Michael and the snake, and
the snake,
and
the python,
chimp.
right? It was like a massive
Yeah.
bubbles.
Ooh.
You know what I have to say though? I saw Lionel Richie in the Dubai Jazz Fest, February 2020. So just before lockdown. And I remember being in the crowd, thinking to myself, I'm like, is COVID here right now? Like I was like thinking,
Oh yeah.
this is before we locked it down. And but honestly, one of the best concerts I've ever been to. You know why the guy has been in show business for 50 or 60 years. Like he is such a performer. Like the entire crowd, whether you knew his songs or not, he was just,
I love that.
class act. He was such a performer.
Do you watch American Idol?
I haven't in years, actually.
Do you get it in Dubai?
Not kind of. TV here is weird. We don't have commercials. Things don't start on the time that it should. It's getting better, but then now I'm just pretty much all internet based streaming. So I could stream it, but
Yeah.
Is he back this year?
Yeah. Yes. And so
maybe I'll
Aaron and I watched the second episode last night.
Mm.
And so like the combination judges of Luke Bryan and Katy Perry and Lionel Richie are just such a beautiful combination because they're super positive. She's nutty, right? Which is great. And she embraces the diversity in people, which I love.
Yeah.
And then Luke is he's just like he's a country boy, but he's just like fun, like it's just so good. And then it's Lionel, like Lionel's like everyone's great favorite uncle,
Yeah, exactly.
It's a great combination.
He shows up like he's the
totally
all
and
night long.
it's so good. And of course every year the judges perform, they each perform, and that's
amazing.
always my favorite. When it's time for Lionel to perform, I just eat it up. I love it.
He's such a performer. So I mean, I know why he's been around for so long, because like the guy he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
So American Idol contestants, if Lionel tells you to do something, do
it.
Because he knows what he's talking about.
Chances are you don't know just how good he is at his job,
Exactly.
and just how long he's been doing it. Okay, speaking of other Netflix documentaries, Quincy Jones, have you seen that one?
Which one is this one?
It's called Quincy.
No, I haven't seen it yet.
I
No.
recommend. Yeah,
Okay.
super
I'll check
good.
it out.
It starts off with Dr. Dre, so you can't really go wrong. Speaking of Dr. Dre, ish.
Ding, ding, ding,
My
ding,
brother
ding, ding.
took my nieces to see Ice Cube over the weekend at the Great Eagle Casino.
Oh my God.
They loved it.
Ice Cube. Amazing. Oh, jeez.
It was a very good day.
It was a very good day. Ice Cube's son, who played him in Straight Outta Compton,
Mhm.
looks more like Ice Cube than Ice Cube looks like Ice Cube. Have you realized this?
Isn't this crazy? And what is his name again? I'll forget it. This
I
might
don't
be our
know.
first Google moment of the
Yeah.
episode, as in you have to
Should I
get out your Googler and check it
Ding.
out. Yeah,
My Googler,
your Googler.
the magic Google.
Mhm.
You get out the magic Google.
You're a much better Googler than I am. I'm just saying.
Ice Cube's son. Oh, O'Shea Jackson Jr.
Oh, Shea Jackson Jr. Yeah. Holy,
because
and he was
yeah,
so good in the movie
so
too,
good.
right? So
Yeah.
good. So good.
But he looks more like Ice Cube than Ice Cube looks like Ice Cube.
And isn't
It's
that the truth?
ridiculous.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. I still think of like having seen Snoop Dogg talk about his
Snoop,
wife and
Snoopaloop,
how like they've been married forever with kids. And so
forever.
all this
Like
time
30
he
years,
was
25,
talking
30
about,
years.
bitches and hoes. He was married with kids.
I love the memes where it's like Snoop and he's all his like Crip stuff, and then it's like him and Martha, and it's like one of these is a felon. And it's like Martha, like,
And
it's
it's
just it's
not
so funny because
Snoop.
you've been talking about like everything illicit for years, and yeah,
Those
lady
two
that
are
bakes
besties.
cupcakes. I know they're besties. I love it. Did you see how hot she is?
I did.
Now
I
she
did.
was on Sports Illustrated this year. Was it this year?
81,
Last
I
year.
think. Yeah, last
81.
year, and this year it's Brittany Mahomes, Patrick
Yeah.
Mahomes' wife. Yeah, so yeah, Martha's amazing.
I
I
saw her at the
enjoy her.
Super Bowl. She just looks
Yes.
amazing.
Yeah. What was so funny was about um the celebrity cam on the Jumbotron, and it was like Leo DiCaprio, and he's like pulling down his hat when he realizes people are
Yeah.
looking. And then you get Jeff Goldblum, who's like, I love you guys, or however you do this. I don't even know. How do you? Oh, there, I got it.
See, yeah, okay. So this is
Oh,
I
look,
saw this. Oh my God. So
you know that.
that.
How the heck did I turn that on?
That.
Hold,
You can do
hold.
hand gestures.
I don't know why. Why is it doing yours? And that's weird, eh?
Oh, that's amazing. Okay, so this is how apparently millennials and Gen X do hearts.
Okay.
Apparently, then this. Wait, I'm gonna screw it up. This is how, like, Alpha or
Oh God,
Gen.
my
Yeah,
brain
so
hurts
index
thinking
and
about that.
middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it might shake a little bit. But this is how they do it. They're like, "Eh," and then they do like halvesies. So, yeah. Once
Huh.
again, watch the YouTube if you don't want to know what we're doing. and then my husband does this.
Your
That's what
husband,
he
I
does to
like that
me.
one. I
And
like
yeah,
that one.
when it's a little
Everybody's.
bit like this, but it's like this.
I
Yeah.
forgot a thing. You know something? After my husband and I watched last week's episode, the Valentine's Day episode, I had to show him the bit about when I was talking about Christian McCaffrey's amazing outfit in his Birkin, and then the too
Yes.
short
Short
pants
pants.
conversation. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so we were watching it, and he's like, well, did you take in your Valentine's card to show? Like as if it's show and tell day at school, right? And I was like, no, but I
Oh,
should. And so just last night, he reminded me, and of course I forgot it. So
let's
next
see
time,
the
would you?
Valentine's Day card. Oh,
He
you didn't bring
hand
it.
makes my Valentine's Day cards.
Oh,
I know he's done
really?
it for years, and they're the cutest thing you've ever seen in your entire life.
Are they like good, or is it like folded paper with crayon?
They're well, no, they're good. They're good. But he
Oh,
like puts
okay.
his own little like trademark on the back. And I have some
Oh,
that go back years that have our pets in them. The pets that have now passed, and they're colored in brindle, and they're colored in gray and orange. You remember Twitter was gray and orange and white.
Twitter. Ready?
Yes,
Ready?
exactly.
Go get
Go guess it. Okay, the people who know me right now are like, oh my God, she totally did that. How come it took like 6 episodes to do that?
it. So for people that don't know, if you ever had to feed Fiona's cats, the first thing that you were told was that there is a very specific call that you have to do for Fiona's cats to get them to come eat. And it consists of ready, ready, and then you take the food and you throw it and they go, go get it. And then they take off running, and that's how they know it's mealtime.
Okay. Well, absolutely. And I remember the first time you came to feed my cats when I was going on holidays, and you were like, I was giving you instructions. I feel like we talked about this on one of the earlier episodes. And
Oh,
I
I
was
know,
like,
maybe.
I shared the instructions, and you were like, so basically, I just need to make a lot of noise and they'll show up. And I was like, yeah, pretty much. Yeah, yeah, that's
Yeah, yeah,
exactly it. Yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
So the toys get the ready, ready, ready. And the food now, my cats just follow me around expecting that I'm going to feed them at any time.
Oh.
So I don't really have to make much noise these days, but I just have to open the cupboard drawer, the drawer that has the forks in it, and they're right there. Look at that. Okay, Vanda, there must be a thing like your
I think
settings
you have it. I don't
turned
have my
on.
settings turned on, but this Yeah, all kinds of stuff. Oh,
That's
there it is.
amazing.
As long as you don't turn into a potato or a cat like those other people when they're like in court.
So you
Yeah.
told a story after we finished the recording, as usual, last
I
time.
did.
You remember the story?
I do.
You want to share? I'm giving you permission to share it.
Well, I mean, it was one of those stories that or conversations that we had back in the days of yore, 20 some years ago,
When we were single and dating, you and me.
single and dating, and I was laughing so hard because Fiona just said something that triggered my memory. We were having martinis in Rock Island, and you said something to me along the effects of, if I die, I need you to do this. And I was like,
oh shit, what?
Okay, like this is a big responsibility. Like obviously I'll take care of the cats, and then what else do I need to do, right? And it was like you have to find my journals, and apparently you have all your journals, right, from like years. Yeah, so I haven't seen them though, because obviously Fiona's still here, well alive, but
thank God.
like, yeah, exactly. She's like, you have to get my journals and you have to do one of two things. And I was like, what? And we are at least 4 or 5 martinis deep. And she goes, one of two things. Number one, you burn them. Or number two, you publish them.
Oh dear.
So yeah, I mean, I'm still available for you.
Good. Because I don't
I'll
even
just
think
like push Aaron out of the way. Just like let me through.
well, the truth is, I wouldn't have said that to him. Yeah. Because he's essentially in the house, right? He could go look, and really, I mean, there's nothing in there that I would keep from him, but it's all probably stuff. I don't know if he thought he was putting a flag anywhere. He's definitely not putting a flag anywhere. Thus, they should probably be published under a pseudonym.
Okay.
So
maybe,
if you
we could just publish them pre-dating, pre-marriage, because that was the exciting stuff.
So if you
fell asleep on the couch again tonight
by myself, or was
by
myself. Yeah, I think it would be an interesting, yes, I was going to say, if you see a Harlequin romance novel from Ida Slapter, you'd be like, oh, I know who that is. A drag name. Do you have a drag name, Vanda?
Do not, but I feel like I need one.
Yes, you do.
We'll work on the drag name. I'll have a drag name by next week. I'll work.
Okay, sounds good. Yes, Aaron and I definitely have drag names in our house. You just never know. But yeah, and mine's been Ida Slapter for a long time. Oh, will the real Ida Slapter step forward and say, who is this interloper that says she's going to publish smut in my name?
There was a Miss Slapter, a Miss Ida Slapter.
Oh God.
It's like Bueller. Slapter. Slapter. Ida. Yeah, so that was one of my favorite memories of drinking martinis. Cosmos. And you must have been Cosmos, because those are Sex in the City days. So
that, no doubt, right? And they had wonderful cocktails. This was the restaurant called Five. Yes, and it was Dominic Rivera, I think, was the chef's name, and he was also in charge at oh God, what was the place on 53rd?
The Duck. The Duck?
With the Duck, that's right, because they had the duck appetizer at both of those restaurants. The Red Crow Grill.
That's it, Red Crow Grill.
Yeah. And they had wonderful martinis there. But here's what I remember about that visit to the restaurant with you. That was the one and only time. I have these fabulous heels that are zebra print, and they're actually they're pony hair.
I remember these.
Do you? And they're like this. They're stupid, right? I called them after that visit where you were like, we'll park in the back. I'm like, oh, no, I don't think so.
These are taxi shoes. We're
gonna keep going around the block until someone clears out of the front. And that's when I started referring to them as the limousine shoes, as in,
Classier than taxi.
yeah, the only time I'm wearing these. I still have them. I can't bring myself to get rid of them. I love them.
No, sometimes they were beautiful. I know
Thank you.
exactly. I do exactly the
You
shoes.
remember them, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Hilarious. Okay, let's go back to music for a second. Beyonce is number one on the country music chart.
This ain't Texas. Woo! Love it.
There ain't no hold on. Okay, so this is the first time a Black woman has been number one on the country music chart.
Unbelievable.
It's
And
amazing.
really, like, I mean, country music started with like Black country. Yeah, that's how it started. So
Yeah.
for her to be the first female, I was shocked actually.
Yeah.
But go Beyonce.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, talk
Amazing.
about she does everything. Everything she does is great. I love it. I'm totally in awe of it, to be honest.
She can do no wrong. I know you know this, but I saw her in concert in May
Mhm.
at the Renaissance concert in London, and it was insane. It was 2 hours 40 minutes, over 2.5 hours anyways. And she didn't do much of her news. I mean, it was mostly just like Renaissance, right? But it, like, the performance she put on was
Amazing.
just insane. I think it was like 40 songs or something. She didn't do the full songs for a lot of them, but like the way she just weaved it through.
That
The
album,
costumes, the dancing, amazing.
that album is amazing.
Yeah.
It's really
Renaissance is
it's the
incredible.
only Beyonce album I've ever like, I need to go and have that. Now you don't buy albums anymore. It turns out you just stream them. But
Yeah.
my old fart brain just went, yeah, did I get the CD on that one? Dementia start anytime now.
As long as you didn't try to get to cassette.
Burn
it's
my
okay.
journals.
Do not publish. Burn them.
Well, you can cherry pick. I give you permission. You'd be like, oh,
Is there a couple
girlfriend,
years?
that's what you were doing in fifth try? Oh, would have been a little earlier than that, probably. Anyways, oh, come on.
No, but she's fabulous. She can do no wrong. Like, I was a little suspicious when she went to it was the Grammys, right? Where she was wearing
Yeah.
the cowboy hat, and then
Yep.
she dropped it during the Super Bowl. Like, I was actually on Instagram right after the halftime show, and that's when she announced her new album and the teaser, and the songs were out, and I was just like, only Beyonce.
Was this the Renaissance album like 2 years ago, or are you talking this year?
Sorry, this year. So like her
Oh.
new country music. Yeah.
Oh, I figured that was
Yeah,
on the
she just-
Renaissance album. I didn't know
No,
that.
this is Renaissance Act 2.
Go on.
Brand new album, April or March, end of March.
Yeah,
The whole new
okay.
album.
Here's the thing I love, and I heard her say this, and you are more of a fan than me, so please confirm. I heard her say that she created Renaissance. I think she was like starting it during the pandemic business, right? Where she was writing the music or whatever. She wanted to do an album for the queer community that has supported her for so many years, and she wanted to do like a club album, basically.
Yeah.
Is that
It was
right?
like a 90s like club like throwback album.
God,
from
that's
what I
probably
heard,
why I
but-
love it so much.
But yeah, seriously, dude, like the glitter and the cowboy hat, everybody has like, well, it all makes sense now because Renaissance Act 1, during the concert, you could buy Beyonce cowboy hats. I think she's on a
Horse,
bucking
right?
horse. Yeah.
Like
and it's
a
all
mere
disco.
bald horse.
Like, we
Yes.
just saw it coming.
Yeah.
Like, and
Well,
all of a sudden we're like,
I know.
country.
But
Like,
maybe we
no,
would
it's
just
been coming for 2 years.
Oh,
But
but
it's Beyonce. She can do no wrong. It's fine.
So how is the God, I better turn this down. How is the is it just Texas Hold'em that's out from the album?
Texas Hold'em and 16 Carriages, I believe it's called. Yeah, I don't. It's okay. It's a good song, but I like the other one better. It's a little bit slower, but I like the.
Okay, I see that. Oh, 16 Carriages. There it is. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm looking. I'm on the Spotify having a peek.
Oh,
Well, it
on
was
the
funny
spot,
because
that is fine.
yeah, yes, who I understand some of the artists aren't so happy with Spotify because they've been the not so good at paying thing. What do you know about that?
I don't know much, but I do know that it's like they get paid literal like microcents. Is microcents a word? Like just fractions of a cent. So yeah, they don't really get paid at all.
And is
Unless
it like, is Apple better?
Streams.
Or
I don't know. I really don't know. I'll let you know when we're making money.
-19. See?
Jeebus. Why is it? Oh, it's plus 20.
You're just on the other side. That's
Oh, wait,
lovely.
it just went to 19. It just
No,
went to
it
19.
didn't. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
it did. Yeah.
Somehow the gods of
19.
Apple are paying attention. Okay, you said something you wanted to talk about. Recetessa?
Yes. It's either Risa Tisa or Ressa Tessa. Have you heard about
Okay.
this?
No.
Okay, it's on TikTok.
Okay.
And it's you know how you can talk for like 10 minutes on TikTok now?
Yeah, there's longer clips all of a
like
sudden,
it's
right?
a longer
okay.
clips. So anyways, she has over 50 parts. And she has gotten some like 3.6 million subscribe or followers or whatever on TikTok in like a week. And she is telling the most fascinating story. And the story is called Who the Fuck Did I Marry?
Are
And
you
it's
serious?
essentially, seriously, you got to check it out. So
I'm
it's
going right
essentially,
now.
I'm only on part 6, and I'm already like, oh, he did not. Like, so she met this guy during COVID, and they lived together, and he's like an absolutely pathological liar, like pathological liar. And
Okay.
so they, like I said, I don't know. I'm only on part 6, but I am.
This lady?
That's her. Yeah. So you got to
Okay.
like scroll down and then, yeah, and then find part 1 because it's like 50 some parts. And like she just kind of goes through it and tells. I think it started on there was a stitch by it was like,
Like
what's your most, yeah,
these are the
yeah, just
segments? Okay.
yeah, yeah. It started as a like, you know, where you can stitch things together, and it was like, what's like the
Yep.
most unbelievable relationship you're in, or something like that. And so she told a little bit, and then people were like, what? And then so she decided to tell the whole story. And she's so entertaining as a storyteller. And there's 50 parts, so it's like 3 hours. It's like a movie. I don't even like. Yeah, it's really entertaining. And like I said, I'm on
Serious?
part 6, but it is just like, oh no.
Okay, so mad
Yeah.
shout out to her.
Yeah, mad shout out to her. So
Do
that
you
was,
think,
yeah.
do we need like, is this very female positive kind of thing? Like we should send people there to have a look?
I don't know yet.
Or is it just entertainment?
It's just, it literally is entertainment. It's
Okay, okay.
entertainment. But apparently, so she never says the guy's name. She never shows his picture. But then, of course, this guy, I don't even have to know anything about him more than him being a pathological liar. But he's now suing her. And then
She's
like his face, it was on TMZ. Is like his was like, I'm suing her for like defamation of character and like all this stuff. And it was like, dude, she never identified you.
yeah,
Like
like if
would
you
have
just kept your
mouth
mouth shut,
nobody
nobody'd
would
know
have
who you
ever known.
were.
Yeah. But
Besides,
you
the
know,
world thinks you're a pathological liar, so shut the hell up.
Yes. So it's just like they tried to buy a house, you know, and like all like financial stuff, and like it's just so interesting.
Oh
So
boy.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Well,
It's
entertainment comes in
I
many forms these days,
I put
Vanda.
it on when I'm in the shower, so it's just like, oh, he did not. Like washing my hair, like what? Yeah, so it's pretty entertaining.
This is fascinating.
Yeah, yeah. So
Okay.
that's,
All right.
yeah, I would definitely check that out.
Yeah, somebody said to me the other day, don't you find you just lose time when you're in TikTok? I said, yes, but I have to like, I'm very careful. I only like 1 day a week, I allowed myself to go in there
Mm,
when I've got a hard deadline that I can only have
that's a
like
good.
20
You're
or
like, I gotta go.
yeah,
Yeah.
like 20 or 30 minutes before I got to be in the shower. Otherwise, I'm
What's
gonna
your
miss my.
best TikTok that you've ever, or like thing that you've learned on TikTok?
I've learned so many skincare tips on TikTok, to be
Ooh,
honest. Yeah, so like when
yeah.
I have derm things, I go to TikTok.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that makes total sense.
Yeah,
I mean,
everything
people are
from
doing
like
skincare
mature
regimes
skin
like never
stuff.
before.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like how to layer your skincare,
Like,
that kind
yeah,
of
I've
thing.
always serum first and then cream, or is it like
Yeah.
cream then serum? Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
no, you got to
I've
do the
learned so
toner
much.
and then you got to do
I
your
was
actives and then you got
I
to
grew up
yeah.
with like Jergens
Oh,
lotion.
dude,
Go. Like
unscented Lubriderm until like 6 months ago.
well, your skin looks fabulous. So whatever you're doing worked really well.
Genetics.
So
It's genetics.
genetic, exactly. My grandma didn't have a wrinkle until she was like 74 or something crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. You know what my best TikTok thing
Oh,
was?
yes, please answer that question for yourself. Yes.
If you're if you're I want to
Sorry,
say
I'm a
because
shitty
I
host
love it.
right now.
No, it's you're not
I know.
hosting, we're co-hosts.
Yeah, that's
Anyways,
true. That's
it's
true. Okay, tell me. Vanda,
yes.
what's the thing you've learned most on TikTok?
Thank you for asking, Fiona. It's
You're
amazing.
welcome.
Actually,
Yeah.
when you're making like baking and you have something sticky, like you need to put something wet or like honey or molasses or something, you put the flour in the bowl and then you just take the spoon, make the indent of the spoon in the flour, and then you just fill up the damn hole. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So you don't ever have to actually, so you make a perfect like 1 teaspoon like indent into the flour, and then you just squirt your honey or whatever, just put the honey in there. You don't mess spoons up. They're not sticky. You don't have to scrape anything. It goes directly
Into the little divot.
Genius. Mind blown.
Do you know what else TikTok has taught me? Is that there are a lot of nutty ass people like myself who listen to only music from when I was younger and have a good time. I know all the lyrics. I know how to do all the kooky dance. This is a Gen X thing. I didn't know that until I got on TikTok, really.
There are a lot of you and a lot of me, apparently. I was like, I thought I was alone. But then, like, there's like, well, even if you're just 1%, I'm like, well, 1% is 700 million people. So,
Yeah.
70 million people. Take it back. 80 million.
Still,
8 billion.
that's plenty.
A lot of people.
There's no shortage. There's no shortage. Yeah. By the way, we've had our first request for a guest. I won't tell you who it is, but someone who's enjoying our podcast very much that would like to come on and chuckle with us. Nobody famous, just somebody fun.
Nobody famous.
So we may be taking requests for guests.
It's Taylor Swift. We've talked about her so much.
Listen, I thought we were literally 2 minutes ago. I thought, oh God, we're going to get all the way through and we haven't talked about Taylor. That's probably good. And then you brought her up.
Sorry. It was just because we talked about her. So then, obviously she would know. And then,
of course, she must know.
Yeah.
I mean, she must know about what we're doing here. We'd love
so
Taylor, if you're listening. We are such a safe place to land. Like, come and talk to us. Yep. We'd love to talk football with you. Yep.
That's fine. No problem.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we can pop on to the Kelsey brothers podcast. That would be fine. I mean, I'd be okay with that. Yeah. So I feel complete. Do you feel complete?
I love it when you ask this question. Yes, I feel complete.
Okay.
I am at one with my body and soul.
And you know what that means? We're going to turn off the recording and you'd be like, hey, do you remember that time?
Hey, do you remember? Burn the journals. Yes, I remember. Or publish them.
I can hook you up with my agent if you'd like. My literary agent.
Well, they're your journals.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I know, but I can't publish them myself because then, somebody could get linked back to me. But if you publish them under my now famous nom de plume, you're gonna have to come up with something different.
Nobody will ever know, Fiona. Nobody will ever know.
Smut, published by Urethra Franklin.
Did you say Aretha Franklin?
I said urethra.
I was like, that's really random. Thank God for complete now.
Thank God for RuPaul's Drag Race, eh?
All right. Oh my gosh.
What would we be without? As always, such a gift to spend time with you, my friend.
I love you.
I love you too. Until next time. Bye for now.
I don't get hearts. You make the hearts. Make the hearts.
Oh God, it's there. I was like, how do I do that?
Hearts. Yeah. I'll see you soon.
Okay, bye, love.
And there you have it. We hope you've enjoyed the show. Please subscribe, leave us a review, and follow us for more behind-the-scenes content and updates on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at ohffs.podcast.
The information and other content provided in this show or in any linked materials is not intended and should not be construed as medical advice, nor is the information a substitute for professional medical expertise or treatment. We are doctors, but we aren't your doctor. Seek your doctor's opinion. If you or any other person has a medical concern, you should consult with your healthcare provider or seek other professional medical treatment. Never disregard professional medical advice or delay in seeking it because of something that you have heard in this podcast or in any linked materials. If you think you may have a medical emergency, call your doctor or emergency services immediately. The opinions and views expressed on this page and in this show have no relation to those of any academic, hospital, health practice, or other institution. Thank you.